Welcome to the Family Imprint Show. My name's Joanna Lynn, and I'm here with a special guest to share her wisdom with you all today. She works with stress and how that affects the busy woman. So I'm sure many of you can relate to that. I'd like to introduce you to my friend and colleague, Shula. Welcome to the show today.
Hi, Joanna.
Great to have you here. We met, last fall at an
In the
amazing
environment,
weekend.
much like what's behind you, actually. It feels like we're back at the retreat.
That's it. I
Yeah.
love the name, Bliss Before Laundry. Yeah, exactly. Nestled in nature and working with women and the challenges that we face. It was a great environment to meet you. I'm so glad we've kept in touch.
Me too.
So tell me a little bit about how you work with clients.
So I work with business women and busy women
Mhm.
who want to transform the effects of stress and trauma so that they can feel good,
Mhm.
but also respond effectively when the crap hits the fan.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to be all like "La," on the mountaintop, right?
Mhm.
And another thing entirely to be, okay, I can handle this and feel good at the same time. Because usually when the crap hits the fan, we're like, "Wah!" Right? So the trick is, I'm good. Let me respond to this. And that's the outcome of the work that I do with the women in my practice.
Excellent. And how long have you been doing this kind of work?
I've been in the professional area of mental health and personal growth since the early 2000s.
Wow.
And then got my master's degree and have been in private practice for a number of years now. But I started first outside of in the more coaching role, and then moved into the clinical setting. So it's been about 17, 18 years total now that I've been working in this field.
So lots to share with these women who come to see you. And my curiosity with all those years in working with your clients that way, how much does unresolved family issues come into play? Kind of that background stress that lives out back there.
Oh man, um, I laugh because wow, it has an incredible impact.
Yeah.
Uh, the vast majority of women who come to see me find themselves overwhelmed
Hmm.
because they're competent, strong, capable, powerful women in their worlds. And
Yeah.
so everybody looks to them in their work life, in their business life, in their home life, in their extended family life, in their community. These are women who are like, they got it.
Yeah.
And because of that, they carry a lot.
Mhm.
In particular, in a family where you might be, you're the one to whom everybody turns. And so the way the family has the habit of relying on you,
Mhm.
right, which is not, I like the word flow rather than balance. You
Mhm.
want a flow of like self-reliance and interdependence and self-reliance and interdependence. But in some families, it becomes a lot of dependence on
Mm.
one person, in many cases, the mom, right?
Yeah.
And so then what happens to the mom? She carries all this for everybody, but who carries her?
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing the matter with the demands, and there's nothing the matter with her wanting to help and be responsive to others. What's needed is a flow between care for self and care for those people.
Mhm.
Right? So the family dynamic of relying on one person, in this case the mom, uh, means that the mom sometimes gets stuck. She gets overwhelmed. And she has nowhere to go and nowhere to put all the stuff she carries.
Yes. Well
So,
said.
yeah, in a situation like that, it's good for her to seek company, some kind of good company, you know? Yeah.
I do know. I do. And so I'd love for you to share with us what are some of the things that you help your clients to do? What are some of the even resources that you might guide them to for many of the people listening? I'm sure they can relate. And yet, the fact of the matter still remains. They're running their business or still the head of the family. So how do they move into that flow that you've described?
Yeah. You know, the popular wisdom is do less.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, as if. It's just
Mm-hmm.
but I suspect, and I say this to most of my clients, I suspect that they are already doing stuff in the course of their daily lives that can be tweaked to become supportive. Because the name of the game, in technical terms, we call it dysregulation. That's what stress does. It dysregulates the nervous system.
Yeah.
So the name of the game is to regulate your nervous system, to bring your activation back within your window of tolerance, so that window of tolerance means feel good, right? So that then when something happens, you can respond, you're resourced. Yeah. So how to bring the nervous system back into the window of tolerance, there are 3 principles. Okay. Soothe, discharge, and nourish. Soothe means offering yourself an experience that makes you go, right? You recognize that. I'm sure that you've had experiences in your life that just make you kind of melt.
Oh, that's it. Well, finding myself out on a hiking trail, slipping into a nice hot bath, definitely.
Yeah, or the sun breaks through the clouds in your office window and you turn to look and like take the warmth of the sun in. That can feel so good. So that's what soothing is like. Discharging has to do with allowing the physiological and emotional energy to move. Okay. Because when we're under stress, you can imagine it's like stress is the bear and we're the bunny. Okay. The bear's going to kill us. And we're like ready to run. But there's no bear really. We're not rabbits and there's nowhere to run. Yeah. So what do we do with this? The trick is to discharge physiologically, but also have a good laugh, a good cry, a good vent, So that's the principle of discharge, of moving emotions in the body. And then the final principle is nourish. And this has to do with, in the same way that the body, physiologically, the body needs nourishment. It needs calories, it needs fat, it needs, all those things. Same, the nervous system needs to be nourished. It needs input. Okay. So this has to do with inspiration, play, and kind of interpersonal connection. That when it's over, like, for example, if you've ever been to a really good concert, it's like a nearly religious experience. It can be really uplifting, right? Well said.
You're fully plugged in and ready for anything that comes. Yeah.
Or a good hike can also do the same kind of thing. Or a good intimate talk with a trusted friend. Yeah. It's uplifting. It feels good. That's what nourishment is. So as I've talked about these 3 principles, have you seen places in your life where you're already doing these kinds of things?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So a good example of how, like many women who come to me, they're responsible for everything in the house, including the pets, right? Which means they have to, for example, walk the dog. Yeah. But you also have to work out because you also have to stay in shape. So the dog walk is like, I'm walking the dog and I'm getting in shape and the dog's being walked and I'm checking a thing off my list and but you can see by my body language, like my forehead is right? Because it's something I've got to do. Yeah. But if I pause at the door, just a little pause at the door, and I say to myself, this is my stress reduction practice. And I take a breath and set the intention that this is my stress reduction practice. And I go with the dog, and so I maybe walk vigorously, and the dog's with me, and I hear the crunch of my feet. I feel it's kind of a fun, like if you just swing your body like this right now, you can sort of feel, it's a fun kind of, it's
loosen up.
Yes. So you can enjoy like the swing of your body. You can enjoy the smell of the air, what's around you, the natural world around you. Even if you're in the city, there's still like the sky and the birds. Yeah. And this transforms this walk that has to get done into this like kind of more spacious, more fulfilling experience.
Love it.
Experiential and not verbal, because language doesn't speak to this activation of the nervous system, right? You can't tell yourself like, girl, just relax. You're like, relax. I know I need to relax. Right?
That's it.
If you show your body that it can be in a more spacious state, that sends the relaxation message, right?
Yeah.
So it's powerful, and you're not adding in one more thing, right? It's the same thing you've always done. You just do it a little bit differently. So that's just one example of the way in which, of the kind of tools that I teach people that they can take into their everyday life so that they can feel good and get resourced.
Well, and I just love what you've shared about the starting with the intention, the really just stepping out. You're doing some of the same things you'd already do, but you're doing it with a different feeling in your body. It's
Yes.
kind of like, I really should do yoga because I know I'll feel better or be more flexible, versus
Right.
I get to spend this time on my yoga mat. And isn't this a great way to spend a little bit of my time today? They're two very different ways to start the same activity.
It's the exact same activity. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
intention makes all the difference.
Absolutely. Well, I can't thank you enough for sharing these great tips and actionable things we can step into our day with tomorrow. And if someone wanted to ask a question or get a part of, I know you do some videos and share some little secrets with your audience. So if someone wants to find you, how do they do that?
My website is shula.ca, S like Sam, HULA.ca. And so there's all kinds of stuff, but a good place to start is if you go to shula.ca/free.
Okay.
I have some free resources. Actually, I have a video that leads you through a movement practice that will support you in soothing, discharging, and nourishing your body. A free PDF handout so that if you don't have the video, you just have the sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And a book that tells you how to transfer these skills of the video into your everyday life.
Oh, that's great. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing those resources with the listeners here on the Family Imprint Show. That's awesome. It was such a pleasure to reconnect and have this chat with you.
Yes. Thank you, Joanna. Thanks for inviting me.